Oh, hey, this camera keeps sneaking up on me. Anyway, 恭喜发财, 新年快乐, and all of that to all of you guys out there. Now, today, in this episode of China How It Is, we are going to be talking about lucky money. Alright, what on earth are these red packets? What are they all about? And, who do you give them to? Who gives them to you? Let's clear all that up, because it took me years of living here before I really understood exactly what it was all about. Let's just take a look at this one. This is quite interesting. It's got a horse on it, because this is the year of the horse, Ma Nian. And you might be surprised, but this I actually got for free when I went to buy something at IKEA. Alright, so it's, let me see the IKEA brand there. Gonna focus? Yeah, there we go. There we are. Alright. But typically these, red envelopes or red packets have, something like this on it, which is the character for prosperity and fortune, Fu, and, various other little sayings here and there. I actually have a video where I purchased all of these, so if you want to see it, the link is over here. That was my last What's Happening in China. I actually went around in the village and bought a bunch of these. Okay, so now China is a big place, and it's different in the north and the south, the traditions regarding this money. But of course, this being the Chinese New Year, this is the most important holiday in the whole year here in China. And these play a big role. So I went to ask some of the people I work with, and I was very lucky because somebody that I work with happens to be from Inner Mongolia, which is of course the most north part of China basically, right up there, and people from the south as well. So we can actually find out from them all the different traditions from the north and from the south. So let's get cracking and let's go ask him. Okay, hi everyone. I'm here with my friends. Let me introduce you. You already know Tracy and you know Shelley, and this is Scarlett. Say hi.
Hi.
And today we're going to be talking about lucky money or red envelopes, which is something that is going to be happening soon since the Chinese Lunar New Year. Spring Festival is right around the corner. All right, so Shelley, I would like to ask you, when do people give lucky money or red envelopes? What time of the year?
People give lucky money just after the Chinese Lunar Chinese New Year Eve.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, between the New Year Day and Lantern Festival, which is in lunar calendar, that's the January the 15th.
All right, so any time between those days.
When they first see kids or friends, when they first sing during this period, when they first see these people, they will give the lucky money to them.
Okay, that's very interesting. Okay, basically the New Year's festival will end with something called the Lantern Festival, where people will make these very ornate, beautiful Chinese lanterns, obviously Chinese lanterns because it's China, and they'll eat some traditional foods, some kind of round sweet thing, I'm not entirely sure. But that signifies the end. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is this whole lucky money thing, the giving and receiving, happens between the beginning of New Year's Day, so at midnight basically, and it ends at the Lantern Festival. So that's the gap where this whole giving red envelopes applies. Okay, let's get back to it. Midnight, right?
Yeah, after midnight.
Okay.
Actually, after the 12 a.m.
Okay, yeah, all right, excellent. Well, thank you. Okay, so I asked these ladies a little bit about what they do during the whole festival, the Spring Festival, and the most important part is this. On the Chinese New Year's Eve, which actually was last night, trust me, I know, a lot of fireworks going on around here, everything was shut, everyone was home. I had a subscriber over last night and we tried to find a place to eat, and we had to ride around for ages to find a small place that was open, and the only reason they were open is because they had their whole family, obviously they own the restaurant, and their whole family was there eating at the restaurant so they could keep it open. But everything else is shut because it's the most important evening. And what happens is the family will get together for a lavish dinner at home, and there are all sorts of interesting little things they do, like putting coins into dumplings up in the north, and etc., etc. Anyway, so they have this big dinner, and then everybody will stay up and watch the New Year's gala on CCTV, which is, the CCTV is just one of the national channels here. You get CCTV 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And it's like a big show. Maybe you can see some pictures here where they have celebrities and they have dancers and they have little quiz shows and little things going on. And it's something that everybody watches every year here. It's pretty widespread. I think just about everyone in the country watches it, if they have access to a TV. And they watch that until after midnight, and then, let's carry on finding out about the celebrations and exactly what they do. All right, excellent. So now I've got a question for you, Tracy. Actually, no. Not you yet, Tracy. It's going to be Scarlett, sorry. Now, you see, the tradition of giving the lucky money red envelopes is different between northern China and southern China. So we're going to talk about northern China because Scarlett is from northern China, very northern China, right? You're from Inner Mongolia. Yeah, Inner Mongolia. Okay, excellent.
Yes, so in North China, if you are married or employed, so you get some work to do during that time, because usually during that time we will visit our relative or close friends. So of course you will see their children there. You have to prepare some red envelope, and in this envelope you will give some money, like 100 or 200. The children will be very happy to receive such envelope.
Okay, excellent. So I have a question for you. Is it only children that will receive the lucky money during this period in northern China, or do other people get lucky money?
I think usually only the people under 18 years old will receive the red envelope, the lucky money.
Okay, and is it only relatives that receive it, or do you give it to all children, or only your relatives?
No, just close friends or relatives' children.
Okay, so for instance, if you have a very close friend and they have a child, you will give to them as well?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Right, thank you very much, Scarlett. So, Tracy, I wanted to ask you, how much can a person expect to pay during this time, or spend during this time? If I am living in the north of China and I have some relatives, etc., Scarlett was saying that you give between 100 and 200 in the red envelope. So what would I expect to pay in general?
It depend on if you are a rich person, maybe you give them more. Normally it's 2,000 to 10,000 per person.
All right, so I could expect to pay between 2 and 10,000. Is that right, Scarlett? Roundabout?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe? Okay, all right. All right, I'll take your word for it. It sounds like it. If you've got a whole lot of family, you probably have to give a lot more, right?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so that is in the north of China. Is there anything else we can talk about the north of China? Oh, yes. How do the children get the money? What do they have to do to get the money? Is there anything special that they must do? I suppose I'll ask you, since you're from there.
I received the money when I was a child, just when I woke up. So my parents will prepare the red envelope under my pillow.
Under your pillow?
Yeah, I will discover that.
Oh, you'll discover it under your pillow. Okay, now Tracy was telling us something interesting about the red envelope under the pillow. What was it? It's called Ya Sui Qian, right? Can you explain what that's all about?
That's the legend. Yeah. The Sui is the monster. The monster. On that Lunar New Year's Eve, the monster will come out.
Right.
Yeah. To come to family the house.
What does it want to do in the family's house?
Yeah. The monster wants to touch the children's forehead.
Okay.
So the parents hope the children grown very healthy. So they prepare the red envelope under the children's pillow.
To scare away the monster, right?
Yeah. The monster don't like the red color, so they're very scared. So they go away.
Okay, that's very interesting, and that's Ya Sui Qian. Now, is that monster related to the monster called Nian? Because I know there's also a monster called Nian, right?
Yeah.
Which
maybe the same monster.
I think it's the same thing.
Same monster.
It's the same monster. Okay. Now, Nian is the monster that's scared away by fireworks and red clothing and well, the color red, and that's why the color red is so popular during that time, and fireworks, etc., is to chase away this monster called Nian. Okay.
Yeah.
So red envelopes under the pillow also stop the monster from touching you on the forehead. Okay, very interesting. Excellent. So now you were saying something about 40 years ago what your parents had to do to get the money. What did they have to
Yeah,
do?
I heard my father say that 40 years ago when he was young, and kids will have to kowtow, and then they can get this lucky money from their grandparents.
Okay.
That's traditional Chinese thing. But
Okay.
nowadays people won't do that.
Okay, so nowadays, okay, obviously the lucky money that you get under your pillow is from your parents, right? What about from other relatives? When do you get that, and how do you get that?
The children should see some lucky words to the adults, so the adults will, of course,
Give you the money? Okay, what lucky words?
like 过年好，叔叔阿姨过年好。
Okay, very nice. And exactly one I always hear, what is it?
恭喜发财.
Okay, 恭喜发财，红包拿来. That's what they say, right? Okay, and 恭喜发财 means what?
Good fortune.
Okay.
Wish you a good fortune in the new year.
Okay, so it's you basically wishing them a good fortune, and then they will give you a fortune.
Yeah.
Okay.
Small fortune.
Yeah, small fortune. Yes. Oh, that's excellent. Another question I'd like to ask is, how much will the average child usually get during this time? I mean, if it's in the north, you're from the north, so what's the most you ever managed to get in a year?
Very hard to see if you have a lot of relatives or friends, so you're a lucky kid. I remember at that time I got maybe 2,000 to 3,000 because usually I will got a lot of money from my grandparents.
Oh, that's great. That's a lot of money for a child. Yeah, that's great. So are you allowed to spend the money, or do your parents take it from you?
No, I think it's different among the different families. But in my family, my parents will allow me to spend my money.
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah. How about the rest of you? Did your parents allow you to spend your money or not?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh.
My parents will give the money to me, but a lot of kids will just give the money back to their parents.
Okay, I see. How about you? Could you spend your money, or did you have to give it to your parents?
Yes, my parents told me, I take your money first. I save the money for you.
Okay, great.
Keep it for you.
Did you ever get that money back?
No.
Oh, never. Yeah, clever parents, very clever. That's like an extra salary. Okay, excellent. All right. Well, let's take a quick break, then we'll continue and talk about the south of China. All right, so when we left off, we were talking about the traditions in the north, so let's talk about the south. So, Shelley, can you tell us who gives lucky money to who?
In South China, it's very different from the North China, and people will, the married people will give lucky money to unmarried people, no matter what age they are or what position they are.
Okay, all right. So, for instance, if I was your good friend and I wasn't married, you'd give me a red envelope during that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but at the same time, in South China, people in higher position will give lucky money to lower position.
Okay.
Will give money to people who are in lower position in the company. So people will give lucky money to their colleagues. But at the same time, as I mentioned before, married people will give money to unmarried people.
So let me ask you this question. If I was married and my boss was unmarried, would I give money to my boss?
If you are my boss, I won't. But if you are a manager, I probably will give money to you.
Okay, I understand. All right, so the whole being married and unmarried is very important in the South when it comes to giving money. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so it seems like if you're married, you have to give, lucky money to relatives, friends, and family who are unmarried. You don't need to give to married people, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't
You
have
don't
to.
have to, but as I mentioned, if in a company, if your position is higher than other people, I mean your staff, you will give money to your staff. But it's not necessary to give money to the
Married staff?
Yeah, if you are unmarried,
Mhm.
it's not necessary for you to give lucky money to your staff. But if you are married, you will definitely give lucky money to your staff.
Okay, all right.
It's
Okay.
very complicated.
Yeah, it does sound a little complicated, but all right. So being married means you're going to have a big expense during this time of the year, pretty much. Okay. All right, let's talk about some amounts. What is I mean, obviously now it's different to the north because you're not just giving to relatives, you're going to be giving to lots of people, friends and colleagues, etc. So
Even the security guards.
Security guards, okay.
you will say, yeah.
Excellent. So tell me, what is the normal amount that you'll put inside the red envelope?
It depends. If it's very close friend or very close relatives, you will give their kids at least 100 to 200. But if it's colleague, I think 10 yuan will be enough, or
Okay.
even 5 sometimes. If it's 2,000 colleagues will come to get the lucky money from you, then
Sure.
probably you'll give 5 yuan only.
Yeah.
person.
Okay, makes sense. So yeah, you can go as little as 5 and go all the way up to like 1,000, right? Okay, excellent. So here's my question. As a married person living here in the south of China, what amount do you expect to have to pay every year during this period?
In South China?
Yes.
I mean, for colleagues only.
I mean for everything.
I know, I'm calculating now.
Okay, all right, okay. Yeah.
For colleagues only, probably 2,000, and then plus relatives, I guess 5,000 to 10,000.
Okay, all right. So quite an expensive time of year if you have a lot of colleagues and a lot of friends and a lot of family. And I know in Hong Kong it's even worse. You know, I'll tell you why. Because I've actually been out for dinner with friends, and one of their friends will come to the dinner table, and when they sit down, they give the lucky money to everyone sitting at the table, even if they don't know them. So I've actually received lucky money just for being at a table. And usually it's not a small amount, it's like 100 Hong Kong dollars or 50 Hong Kong dollars just for strangers. So people are obviously walking around with thousands of Hong Kong dollars in red packets already prepared just to give away. And oh yes, tell me, how do you get your lucky money during that time in the south? What do you do? Do you wake up with it under your pillow if you're a child, or?
In a company, we will go to the boss office and say, 新年好.
Okay.
Happy New Year. I mean, Happy New Year. And then your boss will also say Happy New Year. And then at the same time, he will give you the lucky money.
Oh, very nice. Okay, so that's what you do in a company. What about with colleagues? Do you just, if you see a colleague, do they give you money, or?
I think
I never received that, so I mean.
Oh, really? Okay.
In company and in your family is very different. In company, people will come to your office to get the money from you, but in your family, it's the first time you see the kids during this New Year time. Then you will give them money.
Right.
So that's different. In company, they will come to your office, then you give them. You're not you meet a person in the corridor, you won't give them the money. But if it's kids, you will give them money
Right.
the first time you see him.
Okay, right. That's very interesting. Okay, thank you. So that hopefully explains a lot about the giving money thing. Okay, so if you are married in China, you will also be expected to give this lucky money, so watch out for that. Okay. Well, thank you very much, ladies. I think you've cleared everything up as far as this is concerned. This is a complicated subject. You know, most foreigners, like myself, even to this day, I wasn't sure of certain things. You've cleared it all up for me. Thank you very much. Now I understand who has to give to who, how much, and when. Thank you very much. All right, let's talk about some alternative uses for the red envelopes other than during this holiday period. Okay. When you go to a wedding, okay, it doesn't look exactly the same as this. It will have different characters. I guess you wouldn't give a best wishes for the New Year's thing for. a wedding, but I don't think I have any of them around here. But basically, when you go to a wedding, you'll get special wedding red envelopes, which have the character which represents, luck for, marriage and stuff like that. And if you're invited to a Chinese wedding, just be prepared to pay. All right, I'll explain to you how I found out about this. I was invited to a Chinese friend's wedding. I've just been here for a short while. I wasn't really sure what was going on. And so we were on our way there, me and another friend, to the wedding. And this friend of mine asked me, have you prepared your lucky money for them? And I asked, well, what lucky money? What are you talking about? He says, no, you have to give a red envelope, when you walk in the door. And I thought, okay, well, fine. How much are you supposed to give? And it's a minimum of, at least here in Guangdong, it's a minimum of 500 RMB, which is, or at least was, a lot of money to me at the time. So I was quite shocked because, in the West, if you get invited to a wedding, it's good times. It means free booze, free food, you don't necessarily need to like the people, but you'll still go have a good time, it's a good thing. But if you're invited to a wedding here, you have to pay. It's not exactly a good motivator, but the way it works is you give them 500, everybody gives them 500 or more, depending, like people will give more. And they're quite tricky. You have to write your name on the actual envelope, and when you walk in the door, they'll have a reception desk, and you have to sign a big register and give your 500 or however much RMB with your name written. So you can't get away with slipping in like 10 and putting it there and pretending like you paid. You have to put it in there. Anyway, it comes back because the people you invite to, if you go to their wedding and you later on get married, you will invite them and they'll feel obliged to come to your wedding and also give you 500. So it's kind of like an investment, if you can think about it like that. So anyway, that's the wedding thing. Another use, which is maybe not so savory, is for bribes. If you ever need to give a government official a bribe, it will come in the form of a red packet and kind of like, here's a little bit of lucky money, just maybe ignore the fact that I broke all those rules. Not that I'm ever advocating that, I've never done that, I'm just saying it's fairly common and it's kind of, people understand if you give a red packet to an official, it means you're trying to bribe them. Okay, so those are the other uses of lucky money. Alright, so I hope this has been interesting for all of you guys. I hope you've got some knowledge from this, and now you know who to give to and who to receive from. And if you're married in the southern China during this time, go on holiday or something, just get out of here, then you don't need to waste all your money. Anyway, cheers until next time, guys.